Day 5, why am I still hungry on Zepbound? Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Us Shopping, and on this episode, I'm going to talk about why I'm so hungry on day 5, day 6, day 7 of Zepbound. And if you're on the compound Zepbound, what does that mean and what do we do to fix it with 8 solution tips for you? Friends, if we don't know each other, I'm Countess of Shopping. I'm Elizabeth. I've lost over 90 pounds in the last 17 full months of being on GLP-1 medication. I have lost this weight starting off on Mounjaro because of the Mounjaro shortage, switched over to Zepbound because of the Zepbound shortage, switched over to compound now, and my heart's desire is to go back onto brand name Zepbound once the shortage alleviates itself. And I keep getting this question. I have a free encouragement group, which I'll link down below, with thousands of amazing people on GLP-1 medications. If you're not on Zepbound, you're welcome in that group. If you're on tirzepatide, semaglutide, Wegovy, Ozempic, a partridge in a pear tree, if you're on a GLP-1 medication, would love to have you in the group. It's linked down in the description link below, as is all of the resources I'm going to dive in today. We've got a lot of, I'm going to cite my sources too, as I require here at my channel, to be factually accurate. Let's dive in. So why on day 5 am I still so hungry on Zepbound? Well, you're not alone if you feel that way. Some people, when they first titrate up a dose, may have full, and this was definitely, I'll only talk my experience, strength, and hope, because I'm not a healthcare provider. I'll always punch you back to your healthcare provider. But when I first titrated up, I was like, I'm so full all the time. That's changed for me. Now 17 full months of being in on this game, that has definitely changed. And so having what's called half-life dose. And I go over to my little, citing my source here, is that Eli Lilly tells us, and I'll link this link down in the description link below so you can read it for yourself too, is that because of a half-life of tirzepatide, it is approximately 5 days. If you stop tirzepatide, it should be gone from your body in about 30 days. So knowing that there's a half-life dose, and some of you may say, Elizabeth, what is a half-life dose? Don't fret, my pet. I've also got that. Let me pull up my definition of what specifically a half-life dose is, because I'm not a medical person. A half-life dose is a drug, is the time it takes for the amount of the drug's active substance in your body to reduce by half. So by day 5, it's half-life dose, exactly what it's saying in there, it's by half. And so you're not going to have that full appetite suppression. Typically for me, for Zepbound and then the Zepbound compound tirzepatide, I feel so awesome like the first 24 hours after my injection, and then even into 48 hours, sometimes that like prolongs for me, and then it dips, and then it gradually goes down, and then by day 5, usually my hunger is back, like I'm back. For me, and we've talked about this in other videos, so make sure to click that like and subscribe button so you can binge watch my 250 plus GLP-1 videos. But I've noticed there's 2 different categories of appetite suppression for me. And we've talked about this a lot in my free encouragement group too, of I have appetite suppression of where I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat anything. And then another appetite suppression of where I eat, but my portions are substantially less, or the combination of both. And for me, I love having the combination of both. When I titrate up doses, that's usually where I feel that of, I'm really not hungry, but when I do eat, the portions are substantially smaller. Now that I'm on the highest dose of Zepbound 15, there's nowhere else for me to titrate up to, which is why I say titrate up slowly. Talk to your healthcare provider about titrating up slowly. I have nowhere else to go. I'm like stuck. This is where I am, is the highest dose. But that half-life, that's tip number 1 of why I'm so hungry. Well, the drug's made to be that way. Like, that's the drug. You're getting exactly what Eli Lilly, the manufacturer of the drug, tells us we're going to have. Is half-life dose happens on day 5. So day 5, day 6, day 7, I am going to experience more hunger because of the active ingredient is half in my body, like the half-life dose of it. So, and again, I'm not a healthcare provider, so nurses and things like that, bless y'all, healthcare providers. That is my uneducated medical way of sharing what I feel in my body, and my body feels hungry. 2, what we can do to combat this on day 5, day 6, and day 7, but really on all the days, for me, is a protein-focused diet. Now, I just had a video that either it's coming out or it will have come out by the time this video comes out, talking about how Eli Lilly had talked about how much protein we should be having. And they said around 60 grams for women. The whole article, I'll cite this source as well down below. But I have a GLP-1 dietitian that I hired, and she told me 100 to 120 grams on average was what I should be having. So something to think about too of, sorry, I wanted to pull up that specific fact. It was approximately 60 grams. I'll cite that source down in the description link below. I go for 100 to 120 grams because protein is full. It gives me that satiety of like I'm full. When I don't eat a lot of protein or days that I'm not hitting that 100 grams, which by the way, on the first and second day, I'm not hitting those grams of protein. But when I'm hitting those grams of protein, I am full by the end of the night. I'm not night snacking or even snacking at all because I'm so full. Yesterday, I had Just Bare chicken nuggets. They're the little like healthy, there's like for 4 ounces, it's 150 calories around that ballpark. I had that, and then I had some Greek yogurt with a little bit of chia seeds on top and a bunch of fruit. It was so full, so full. I rolled into dinner and I was like, I'm so full. And I had a salad and a slice of pizza. Done. And that was on what day am I on today from when I had my injection? That was 3 days in from my injection. Just to give some, because I think it's helpful to hear context. Now, if you're like, I have no idea what to eat, I have a free dietitian created meal plan. I didn't create it. I had a dietitian who has a master's degree in nutrition and focuses on GLP-1 patients, create it for our community. I bought the licensing rights to give it to you for free. A week's worth plus the shopping list plus a bunch of protein recipes. So if you're like, I just need some new stuff, use it. It's on countessofshopping.com, but it's in the description link below too. And with those, that's tip number 2, protein focus. If you need new ideas for protein, for me, I like to switch things around. I've recently switched and been trying Bioptimizer's protein shake. I'll link that down in the description link below with a 10% off coupon for you. They're great. They're plant-based. Some of you guys had asked for plant-based options. They're plant-based. That's been great. And I've been mixing in also their mushroom breakthrough. It's mushroom and collagen in there. Loving it. And they have different flavors too. Love those. I'll also link that down in the description link below. In addition to having like lean meats, seafood, fish, legumes, beans, chia seeds, typical stuff like that. So 2, protein. And if you're bored of protein, try some new proteins. Like reinvigorate, be excited, your food should be fun. We're having much smaller quantities. Make it fun for yourself or it's not going to be sustainable in my humble opinion. Number 3, big meals versus small meals. Big, little. Why am I so hungry? Still so hungry on Zepbound, particularly by day 5, 6, and 7, is adjusting to quantity size of that. Usually on day 5, 6, and 7, I also focus more in not just the protein, but then also on my bigger meals, more salads, more vegetables, steamed broccoli, green beans. And I get a lot of frozen green beans and frozen broccoli. We get them from Costco in big old bags. So I can plop in an extra cup or 2, big bowls of that. And the quantity helps with me too. And so that would be a suggestion for you too, is are you focusing on the nutrient dense foods in addition to protein? For me, sometimes not. Sometimes I'll go for like popcorn or pretzels and I'm like, relearning to have more fruits and vegetables has been an interesting learning lesson for me and maybe for you too. I did not get 100+ pounds overweight without having an unhealthy relationship with food that I've had to untangle and heal from and still continuing to heal from. So smaller meals versus bigger meals, having bigger meals, but making the bigger part of that more nutrient dense foods like fruits, vegetables, keeping vegetables on hand because I kept finding my vegetables would go bad in the refrigerator. So having things like pickles that don't go as bad as quickly, frozen vegetables, frozen fruits, smoothies, protein shakes, things like that. Number 4, head hunger versus real hunger. Why am I still so hungry on Zepbound? Well, is it really hunger or is it a habit of hunger? When I made this realization several months ago, I did a video on this of head hunger versus real hunger, and it was baffling to me. I'm like, this whole time I really wasn't hungry, and I had to sit with feeling like, oh, that's what hunger feels like. That's what full feels like. Zepbound gave me the ability to be like, oh, that's what all these normal people like normal's a dishwasher setting, but all these normal people, like my sister, of being like, okay, I'm full, and then putting her fork down halfway through the meal. That never happened to me. I was always clean plate club. So realizing head hunger versus real hunger, but with that realization came, I still grabbed for food. It was like this hand reflex. I did it in my car too, by the way. I don't know if any of you guys noticed this too in my car. I used to, when I quit smoking, I had the same ironic thing too, of where I would grab and I'd be like, what am I grabbing for? So now my water system. I am obsessed with my water system, and I want you to find a water system you are obsessed with, because being head hunger versus real hunger, I have 3 of my 40-ounce tumblers per day, so 120 ounces. I didn't have a system. And as a businesswoman who's owned and operated multiple multi-million-dollar businesses, systems is how you win. Like how you win at life, relationship, like that's how you win. So I was like, how do I have a system for water? Because my husband, bless his heart, would be like, you have lids and straws and things everywhere. And it was all over our kitchen. And my husband was getting very annoyed with me because he does our dishes. Bless that man. Not only is he hot, he does dishes too, ladies. But so I use Simple Modern. I used to use Stanley's. I've switched over to Simple Modern because they don't get mold on the top. I'll link it down on my Amazon shopping list down below. There was a Stanley sale. It's still going on today. I don't know if it will be on Amazon by the time this comes out, just FYI. So check that to see if it's still on sale. But having their organizers in your pantry for your tumblers, very, very helpful. And then I would subsequently put my lids on there. Having a water system, that's tip number 4. And I use LMNT electrolytes also. I have 1 stick per day. They're awesome. They have magnesium, potassium, sodium, no dyes, no junk, no sugar added. And I love them. If you find them too salty, by the way, just have more water. The potassium negates the sodium for people who are like, oh my gosh, my blood pressure. Obviously check with your own doctor in advance, but they do have science-based data supporting why that is on their website too. But they've very graciously given us 8 free sticks of LMNT electrolytes with any purchase. So I'll link that down in the description link below. But head hunger versus real hunger, for me, the solution, water. Focusing in on a water system to make sure I have that, which I need to go fill my water bottle. Now that I'm saying this, I'm like, why is my water bottle not filled? I need to go fill it. And I fill it 3 times per day. Number 5, working with a dietitian and also a therapist to help unravel and heal my relationship with food. Not all the way there yet, but partially. Much further than I was even a year ago. I can look at certain food triggers for me and things around food that why am I so hungry was part of it, was unhealthy belief systems, coping skills from things, like there was a lot. You don't get this, I mean, I'm not morbidly obese without having a lot of baggage with food. And so working with a therapist, working with a nutritionist to help heal that relationship with food has been instrumental for me. I highly recommend. And with Join Fridays, that's the telehealth company I work with. They offer free group coaching. I actually found it cheaper to have my Join Fridays membership with the dietitian. She has her master's degree. She has group coaching every week as part of my Join Fridays membership. And Join Fridays is who prescribes both my brand names and my compounds. And they work with, by the way, they also ship my compounds too through their compound pharmacies they work with. So I'll link that down below. Use the discount code QUEEN on that as well. But working with the dietitian individually, and then now I just do group stuff, and then also with a therapist individually too, to help. Stuff continues to come up. I did not know how enmeshed and so much unhealthy belief systems associated with food that I've needed to actively heal and continue to heal. Tip number 6, why am I still so hungry on Zepbound? Sleep. If you guys didn't see my sleep episode, I tracked with my Oura Ring sleep, and man, oh man, I was in for like, no wonder I felt like crap a bunch of the time. It's because I wasn't sleeping well. And working on my sleep associated with my food and thus associated with my hunger. And so fixing the root, my sleep, has been instrumental. A big part of that for me was making sure I switched magnesiums, 7 types of magnesiums, and then with Bioptimizers versus the 1 type I was having before. And then that has also helped with constipation too, like full disclosure, and my anxiety. Magnesium has been, and I have scientific data from my Aura Ring to prove that. If you're interested in Bioptimizers, I don't buy my supplements from Amazon. You can get your Aura Ring off of my Amazon shopping list. These I get directly from the vendor, from Bioptimizers. Use the discount code QUEEN. It's linked down in the description link below. I highly recommend. Game changer. Now, for me, sometimes because of my job, I can have really big projects. And so they have a sleep breakthrough also that I have maybe once or twice per week. You put it in, it's a powder, you put it into your drink before you go to bed. I'll do that once or twice. Usually the magnesium suffices. So sleep is number 6. I was so hungry, particularly with having little kids. Now the Duke is 8 now. He's much older, but still, like as a mom, I'm momming 24/7. Even with an incredible partner, the Count is an amazing, incredible dad, but my kid interrupts my sleep often. This morning came in to tell me at 5 a.m., do you know how many brains octopuses have? Maybe it wasn't brains. Maybe it wasn't their stomachs. It was some part of an octopus. I'm like, why are you waking me up at 5 o'clock in the morning to tell me that? Like, don't wake me up. But then it took me a hot second because my alarm wasn't until 7. So sleep, magnesium, highly recommend. Number 7, why am I still so hungry on Zepbound by day 5, 6, and 7? Workout changes. I've talked in other videos. For me, Eli Lilly tells us we need to change 2 major life habits. 1 is food, 2 is workouts with physical activity. So for me, I started walking, here's my cartoon. I started walking Mr. Freddie, my dog. That was my workout. That's what I could do. Being, morbidly obese, that's what I could do. Then moved to wall Pilates because one of my amazing free group members told me to try wall Pilates. I will link that down in the description link below. That group I cannot say enough good things about. That was a group suggestion. That helped give me confidence to start lifting. I'm back into lifting. Lifting weights is amazing. It's been so helpful. And so workouts, particularly on days I lift, I am hungrier. And so balancing that newfound hunger from lifting versus walking and wall Pilates and stuff, mentally took me a hot second. Like, oh, that's why I'm having not as much appetite suppression and I'm hungrier. Because I just burned a ton of calories. And because of my Aura Ring, I can see exactly how many calories I burned, which is cool. Which you can with other devices, but I just love the Aura Ring. Because it tells me about my sleep. It tells me if you have fertility issues, it tells you about fertility too. It's really cool. Anyways, workouts. Changing your workouts for me changed my food consumption. And making sure that food consumption then with more choices was protein focused, which is why I'm loving having a protein drink supplement too. Number 8 is why I'm still so hungry on Zepbound is as a mom, my kid eats differently than I do. My husband eats differently than I do. So if you live with other people and you're responsible for those people, I'm responsible for feeding my kid. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, you need breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh yeah, I'm responsible for that. That's me. And my husband obviously is an amazing partner too, but still I'm responsible for the grocery shopping and usually for food in some general way. Even if sharing it with my husband, I still have part of that responsibility. That for me, going back to being not a trigger, but it was a reminder of food. Working with a therapist and a dietitian on that. But excuse me, my kid can eat way more than I can. My hot husband can eat way more than I can. By the way, that was acid reflux. That's from Zepbound. For me, I still have 17 full months into it. I still have acid reflux, just FYI. When I go like it sounds like I'm like belching or choking. That is from Zepbound. That's only happened from being on a GLP-1 medication, just FYI. Anybody else who has that too during presentations or things, I'm like, excuse me while I so my 8-year-old eats differently. My husband eats differently than I do. And so knowing that they're going to have different portion sizes. And so I subsequently got different plates. I do. I eat on different plates than they do. At dinner time, mine's smaller. Because I don't want this big old plate and being like, oh, I have this little, like, no. So recognizing and knowing that. So if you live with other people and you eat meals with these other people, that they may eat differently than you do. And recognizing, it took me a hot beat to be like, oh, and I don't need to eat the same quantity that I used to eat. And they're going to continue to eat different quantities than me, even a year and 17 full months into it. Like, we're going to continue to eat differently than each other. That I'm smarter than the average bear, but that took me a hot second to recognize and then adapt and create systems for. And for me, my system was buy new stinking plates for myself, smaller plates that look cute for my food, and that the portion sizes are going to be different, right? Or beef up my broccoli or things like that. like my nutrient dense food. So that's why I'm so hungry. I hope that that is helpful for you. Do make sure you get my free stuff listed down below, my free group, my free meal plan. That is my gift to you. If you have not utilized this free meal plan, what are you doing? It's from a dietitian. Like, she specializes in GLP-1 patients. Like, run to go get it. And then also join the free group, link down in the description. Click that more button. Click like and subscribe. Will show the YouTube algorithm to show you more of my videos. And your accountability question today is, what am I doing today to move me closer to my goals? Tell me down in the description link below, and then, or in the comments below. And then 2, our emoji for today is going to be a chicken wing. We do different emojis here at Countess of Shopping. It's like my bat signal. It tells me you've made it this far in the video for me to get to know you better because I care. The pattern recognition of you commenting emoji after emoji after emoji, I do daily videos, will help me to get to know you better because I do care. There's thousands of you, there's one of me, and I really do. My heart's desire is to know everybody in our community. So our emoji today is going to be a chicken wing or a chicken. And also, I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought too. So my sweet friends, hopefully that's motivational. Let's go out there and crush today, okay? If you've been working out while you watch this video, you get an extra pat on your back and a big high five. Sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings. They're abundant and life is delicious. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Have